Hi everyone, my name is Matthew Heap and I'm a composer from Washington, D.C. I'm going to talk a little bit today about my inspiration and process for a piece I'm working on that's tentatively called Divergent Impulses. It's a double concerto for duo Scordatora, so violin and viola, backed up by a Piero ensemble, so violin, cello, flute, clarinet, piano, plus percussion. I've decided to imbue each of the solo instruments with a personality that will be reflected in their materials. The violin as kind of a hopeless romantic, and the viola as kind of an angry mad person. The other instruments will start out with an affinity for one soloist or the other, and will change their tune, so to speak, based on how persuasive each soloist's music is. The conflict between these two personalities will drive the piece, until finally they come to some agreement. So harmonically, I've chosen to represent this through the use of two different spectra. One based on the overtone series of the violin's low G, and the other from the viola's low C. So the viola's low C spectra sounds like this. So we have a nice selection of notes to work with there. And the violin, again, a nice selection of notes. Some of those will be slightly detuned from the equal temperament to give a more pure sound, pure and organic sound to the spectra. The series I just played only come together in a few places on the Gs. So while that will leave some room for some agreement, it also leaves a lot of notes that will allow for some crunchy harmony when they're set against each other. The agreement material comes from adding the frequencies of each partial, so this one, the first one of the viola plus the first one of the violin, if I take the hertz values of those, I get that note. So that spectra will sound goes up to the top of the piano. What's kind of interesting about that is that the G sharp, that's such a prevalent part of that agreement spectrum, isn't really found in either of the C or the G spectra. So it will really be a nice effect when we move into that agreement material. So the other instruments will reinforce one of the spectra or the other based on who they're currently supporting. And as I move further through this process, I'll be updating you, talking a little bit more about how things are going, what sort of compositional decisions I've made, and why I've made them. So stay tuned. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them on my blog, www.matthewheap.com. And I hope you enjoyed this a little bit.